Welcome back to C Files, folks. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we're going to be in Psalm 144 in this devotion time, and then Proverbs later, and then hopefully Ezekiel after that. Psalm 144 is one of my favorite psalms, and it's a psalm written by David, a song to the Lord who preserves and prospers his people. But the very first lines in this psalm, I'm going to have to explain. David was a man of war. He was a shepherd that kept the sheep, and he had a staff. And just David and his staff, he killed a lion with his bare hands with the staff and a bear to protect the sheep. Where did he learn how to do that? How did he get those skills? We're about to find out. He killed Goliath, and of course, him slinging the stone and hitting Goliath right there. It knocked Goliath out and then, or probably dropped dead at that moment. And then David took Goliath's sword and separated his thinking part of the body from the rest of the body. And then David fought many, many battles, warfare after that. He was a man of great warfare, and he never lost a battle. So who gets the credit for that? Did David learn from some great general how to fight wars, and how did he learn from some martial arts master up on a remote mountain somewhere in the Himalayas how to slay a lion and a bear? No. Let's find out where he learned that. Verse 1. Blessed be the Lord, my rock, who tra who trains my hands for war and my fingers for battle. So who gets the credit for David killing the lion and the bear and Goliath and winning all those battles? The Lord does. God. I point up because that's what everybody does. But really, God is omnipresent. He's all around us. God is occupying the space that I occupy. Of course, he's not spatial like me. God is a spirit, but he's everywhere. God taught David how to do that. God was the power behind David's ability to kill a lion and a bear and Goliath and win those battles. So, who trains my hands for war and my fingers for battle? I had a martial arts instructor that referred to this psalm. And I've known a number of Christian martial artists that refer to this psalm. David learned hand-to-hand combat. He learned karate. He learned kung fu. No, wrong. God gave his hands and his fingers the ability to do what they did. That's what David is saying. He didn't have some martial art that he learned from some ancient martial art master in some temple somewhere. God taught him the ability to fight directly. God downloaded it into his head. And it was the Spirit of God that gave him the strength and the power that he had to do those things, just like God did with Samson. All right. Verse 2. My loving kindness and my fortress, my high tower and my deliverer, my shield and the one in whom I take refuge, who subdues my people under me. David gives the Lord the credit for all of that. Lord, what is man that you take knowledge of him, Yeah, what is man that God would take knowledge of us, especially since we've fallen into sin and we're so small and insignificant in comparison to God. But God has a great interest in human beings. We're part of his creation. We were made in his image. Size does not determine value. Always remember that. Size does not determine value. Lord, what is man that you take knowledge of him, or the Son of Man that you are mindful of him? Man is like a breath. His days are like a passing shadow. And I can tell you, I'm old enough to collect Medicare, and the days have gone by way too quickly. It seems like it went like that. Bow down your heavens, O Lord, and come down. Touch the mountains, and they shall smoke. Flash forth lightning and scatter them. Shoot out your arrows and destroy them. Stretch out your hand from above. Rescue me and deliver me out of great waters, from the hand of foreigners, whose mouth speaks lying words, and whose right hand is a right hand of falsehood. Whenever there is a conflict anywhere in the world, where people's lives are being threatened by war, or revolution, or civil war, or an oppressive regime, or whatever it might be, where can they find their refuge and their rock and their shield and their solace? They can find it in the Lord if they know the Lord. And we can find it in the Lord. We really argue a lot about politics, don't we? We get worked up over what politicians do because they're human beings and they really know how to mess things up, right? So where do we find our comfort in the midst of all of those mess ups? As we flawed human beings perceive mess ups in other flawed human beings as if we are seeing things correctly and they're not. How arrogant of us. How arrogant of them to presume that they can decide for us what is right because they think they know better than us. Or we think we know better than them because you see where I'm going? Because we're just better, we're smarter. It's the arrogance of humanity. It's the arrogance of thinking I could fix things better than that guy, just in my own intellect. Having pride in the intellect that God gave you. David didn't have pride in killing the lion and the bear and Goliath. He didn't go around after that bragging, hey, I killed a lion and a bear with my staff, and I killed Goliath. How great am I? David didn't do that. David said, how great is the Lord that gave me the ability to do that? He's my shield. He's my rock. He's my high tower. And then what is man, Lord, that you would even bother to give? See, that's what David's saying. What is man that you would even bother to do that for me, Lord? Why would you even pay attention to me? I'm so insignificant. David had the right concept here. He had the right mentality. And he's saying, rescue me from these other men who are falsely accusing me of things because they think they're right in their arrogance. Now we'll go to verse 9. David says, I will sing a new song to you, O God. On a harp of 10 strings, I will sing praises to you, the one who gives salvation to kings, who delivers David his servant from the deadly sword. Pages tend to stick together. Rescue me and deliver me from the hand of foreigners, whose mouth speaks lying words, and whose right hand is a right hand of falsehood, that our sons may be as plants grown up in their youth, that our daughters may be as pillars sculptured in palace style, that our barns may be full, supplying all kinds of produce, that our sheep may bring forth thousands and 10,000s in our fields, that our oxen may be well laden, that there be no breaking or in or going out, that there be no outcry in our streets. Happy are the people who are in such a state. Happy are the people whose God is the Lord. You want to get blessings for your community, your neighborhood, your county, your state, your nation. Appeal to the omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, immutable God, the one that brought redemption to mankind and will restore all things in the future. All right. Okay. Proverbs, the book of wisdom. Proverbs chapter 21. Let's get into some of these pithy sayings of wisdom. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, like the rivers of water. He turns it wherever he wishes. Oh, hush up, phone. Oh, let's just take it out of drive and put it in the park for just a moment. I do this because in the old days, when I first started driving cars, the gear lever was right here, not down here. Okay, or not now a twisty button, right? Let's just take it out of drive, put it in park for a second, because who is really in charge? The king or the Lord? The president or the Lord? The crown prince or the Lord? The globalist elite or the Lord? The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, not the other way around. God is in charge of all the nations in the world. Um, it doesn't matter if they're socialist, communist, atheistic, filled with a false religion. Uh, God is still in charge, and God is building his kingdom, and God will not stop building his kingdom until every stronghold is torn down and his enemies become his footstool. And he is in charge of the people who are in charge. You say, well, why does God allow the nonsense that had the wars and the stupid decisions that these leaders make in these countries? Well, it's all God will only take his restraining grace so far before he'll allow man to be dumb and arrogant and ignorant as man is for a number of reasons. It can be glorifying to God because it shows a great contrast between God and man, that God is holy and righteous and wise and just and great and powerful, and man is a pile of dung. Man just messes everything up. So instead of looking at God and saying, God, why are you doing this when something bad happens or war or tragedy? We need to look at man and say, why are you doing this? And why are you not bowing before the God of the universe and obeying him? That's the real question. And God is trying to, by doing this, God is showing us that that's exactly what we need to be doing. But what's wrong? We are hard-headed and we don't listen and we don't do it because we're too arrogant, too prideful, and too stubborn to do the right thing. But the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. When the Lord says, that's the red line right there, that's the boundary line, you're not going any further, king, president, crown prince, whatever it might be, monarch, whoever, whatever it is, communist leader, whatever. You're not going past this point. Boom! I'm putting something right there to block your way, and I'm going to get into your heart and guide you what direction you need to go. At this point, I'm making the decision, not you. You think you're making the decision, but you're not. You're doing what I want you to do. You are, but it's because I am directing that decision that you're making. You're doing your own sinful will, but it's me really putting that thought in your head. God directs the hearts of the king. He directed the heart of Cyrus to return Israel after 70 years in captivity, after they're taken into captivity from Babylon. How did God determine 70 years? Well, it was the number of Sabbaths, Jubilee, years of Jubilee, that Israel had ignored. And God, oh, you've ignored 70? Okay, you're going into captivity a year for each Sabbath that you ignored. Well, how did God ensure that they would begin the migration back to the land after 70 years? He put it in the heart of the king, King Cyrus, to do it. King Darius was also involved in that. How did they go into captivity? Well, he put it in the heart of King Nebuchadnezzar to go and get them and put them into captivity, to do his will. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. So don't think that just because you gain a position of power that you're in control. No, God's in control and he will put the brakes on you anytime he chooses, and he will redirect your path anytime he chooses. Like the rivers of water, he turns it wherever he wishes. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord weighs the hearts. Related to what I just read in verse 1. We think we're smart. We think we know better than God. We think we can do things better than God. We think we have it all figured out. I can fix this. I can bring world peace. I can fix the problems in our nation. And we think it's right in our own eyes. And yet God weighs the hearts. Oh, look at that dark black heart. Pharaoh, Caesar, Nebuchadnezzar. Um, God weighs the hearts. He said, I lifted, in Romans 9, he says, I lifted Pharaoh up for what purpose? To demonstrate my power in Pharaoh. Pharaoh thought he had the power. No, God said, no, you don't have the power, Pharaoh. What the heck? What do you think? Who do you think you are? You think you're a god? Well, yeah, he thought he was a god. Yeah, I said, well, I'll show you who the real God is. Boom. Here's real power. Boom. Nebuchadnezzar said, is this not this great? That's Daniel chapter 4. Nebuchadnezzar says, is this not great Babylon that I have built? And God said, God spoke directly to Nebuchadnezzar and basically said to Nebuchadnezzar, you're about to find out who built that. And it wasn't you. And Nebuchadnezzar paid a heavy price for what he said. When God was done you know, roughing Nebuchadnezzar up really good. Nebuchadnezzar came out of that and gave honor and praise to the God of Israel. Who can stand against him? Nebuchadnezzar says. So, yeah, Nebuchadnezzar thought he was right in his own eyes. So did Pharaoh. So does every arrogant national leader. But God weighs the hearts. To do righteousness and justice. Oh, we talk a lot about social justice, don't we? That's a man-made concept, social justice. Now, God is the one who determines righteousness. He's the one who determines justice. To do righteousness and justice is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. A haughty look and a proud heart. I'm going to take me a while to get through this one. And the plowing of the wicked are sin. What was the problem with the king up there? Oh, yeah, he had a proud heart and a haughty look because he thought what he was doing was right in his own eyes. Let's see, verse 5, the plans of the diligent led surely to plenty, but those of everyone who is hasty surely to poverty. Getting treasures by a lying tongue is the fleeting fantasy of those who seek death. There are people right now that are being investigated at the time I'm making this video that got treasures by lying tongue, deception, fraud, and they're about to pay a heavy price for it. The violence of the wicked will destroy them because they refuse to do justice. This is just somebody who's just a brute, just a barbarian and a brute and just slaughters people because he likes doing it. God says he'll destroy them because they don't do things justly. The way of a guilty man is perverse, but as for the pure, his work is right. Better to, oh, ladies. Well, if you're watching this far, you're not one of these. You're probably most likely not one of these women. But have you ever seen these women coming on these social media sites and doing these videos and they're screaming and they're yelling and they're angry and they're full of vitriol? Better to dwell in the corner of a housetop than in a house shared with a contentious woman because of many, many divorces. The soul of the wicked desires evil. Yes, it does. His neighbor finds no favor in his eyes. Yeah, what's in it? What's in it for me to help my neighbor? I had to help my neighbor today that had a problem. I went over to help her out. It was a female neighbor. Um, when the scoffer is punished, the simple is made wise. But when the wise is instructed, he receives knowledge. It takes someone of wisdom to actually learn something. The righteous God wisely considers the house of the wicked, overthrowing the wicked for their wickedness. Wickedness in a home will destroy the home. It will destroy the home. Whoever shuts his ears to the cry of the poor will also cry himself and not be heard. Now, notice it doesn't say the government that shuts its ears to the cry of the poor. It doesn't say the society that shuts its ears to the cry of the poor. It doesn't say the Republicans that shut their ear to the cry of the poor. You see what I'm saying? It says whoever, the individual person who shuts his ears to the cry of the poor will also cry himself and not be heard. It's an individual person. So how are we doing on that one? Are we telling everybody else, oh, you need to help the poor when we're doing nothing? A gift in secret pacifies anger, and a bribe behind the back, strong wrath. Huh. Bribery is the curse of is a curse in a government. It is a joy for the just to do justice. Yeah, there's a sense of a joy and satisfaction in that, isn't there? But destruction will come to the workers of iniquity. Let me move on. I got to get on through this. A man who wanders from the way of understanding will rest in the assembly of the dead. He who loves pleasure will be a poor man, spends all his money on frivolous stuff. He who loves wine and oil will not be rich. It's true. That's so true. And we're not talking about the oil they dig out of the ground with those Goonie bird things that pump the oil. I call them Goonie birds. No, I was talking about fine essential oils, and fine oils back then was a very pricey thing. Spending on luxury items is what it means. You could have had the $10,000 dependable used vehicle that was from a manufacturer that made it really well. Or you could have the $70,000 um, luxury vehicle, or the big fancy pickup truck with the big wheels and all that, or the muscle car, right? Which one's going to take your money away and go send it down a black hole? Um, just saying, been there. Let's see. Where was I? Can you guys tell me where I was? Let me see. Oh yeah. Bribe behind the back. Workers of iniquity. Where was that? Oh, down here. The wicked shall be a ransom for the righteous, and the unfaithful for the upright. Better to dwell. Oh boy, here it comes. Here it comes. Just saying. Better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and angry woman. Ladies, don't be contentious and angry. Don't. Don't do it. There is desirable treasure and oil. Remember those fine luxury items in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man squanders it. The wise man builds up the wealth. The foolish son, if you will, squanders all that wealth. He who follows righteousness and mercy finds life, righteousness, and honor. A wise man scales the city of the mighty and brings down the trusted stronghold. Whoever guards his mouth and tongue keeps his soul from troubles. Oh my, my, my. That's one that we could really heed today, isn't it? A proud and haughty man, scoffer is his name. He acts with arrogant pride. They're usually in the comment sections, the scoffers that are prideful. The desire of the lazy man kills him, for his hands refused to labor. He covets greedily all day long, but the righteous gives and does not spare. A few more. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination. Hmm. how much more when he brings it with wicked intent? A false witness shall perish, but the man who hears him will speak endlessly. A wicked man hardens his face, but as for the upright, he establishes his way. There is no wisdom or understanding or counsel against the Lord. The horse is prepared for the day of battle, but deliverance is of the Lord. Can we say the tank, the fighter jet, the warship, and the foot soldier is prepared for the day of battle, but deliverance is of the Lord. God will decide the outcome of that battle. Hmm. Wow. All right. We're going to leave it there because we are at 31 minutes. We crossed the line and went past it. 30 minutes is the break off time. So we're going to be in Ezekiel the next time we come back. Looks like Ezekiel 31. Egypt cut down like a great tree. See, God determines the battle. I'm just saying. All right. God bless you guys. I'll catch you next time here on the Sea Files. Don't forget, don't, no, do not leave until you like and subscribe. I'm waiting. Go ahead, do it now. Do it. Thank you. See you next time.